best show for Chicago sports.
Yeah. 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 Y'all know just why we here. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, man. And we back in the building. Y'all know how we get down, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up for another live. Question on the table today. Bears making a lot of signings that are leaving us going, who? But are the Chicago Bears actually building a dominant defense right under our noses? We also got to break down what the heck happened with Tom Brady and Bruce Arians. I thought that beef was fake. Y'all remember when that beef was just, oh, they're fine. They're going to go win another ring. It's cool. And now all of a sudden, Bruce Arians is up out of there, moved into the front office. Also, listen, I got to go with half. I don't know if it's half or more of Bulls Nation, but believe in anything that comes in a tweet. P-Kid told y'all, anything that's sourced from Twitter is 99% BS. We also got to look at how we're looking at this season. And of course, Bulls Clippers preview as we got Paul George and them boys coming out from Crenshaw. Pulling up on us tonight here in the Shy. Bulls back home tonight, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We're the only channel that talks Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Nobody's doing it like we doing it. Stop playing with your boy. Shout out to Jimmy Got Soul, man, for the beat. Let them ride a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them ride a little bit. Hey. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live. Y'all know how we get down over here, man. We having a great time. We got another great day of topics to get into as I just ran them down right there, man. Shout out to the chat for pulling up. We got Massive Bulls fan in here already. Robert Schwartz in the building. Torian in the building. What's good? Everybody, if you're in here, we got 24 in here. Hit that like button. I need 24 likes on the screen right now. Let's do it. Yesterday, it's weird in this business, right? We're doing this every day. You have days where you feel way more accomplished than other days. Yesterday was a day where I did nothing but bust my butt, put out a ton of content. We got locked on NBA out. We got locked on Bulls out. We put out the Daily Show. We put out some clips from the videos. And you got to tell yourself, as my chair betrays me again, I'm going to fix this chair one day. Y'all know me in chairs, bro. Y'all know how me in chairs go. Dang, I was really low. I had to look at how far I came up just now. Yesterday was a day where I was on a content creation high. Every day is not like that. As the pettiest man in the world enters the chat.
For 50 cents a day, you could sponsor a chair for Pat.
Hey, your chair still ain't recovered from the Bears drafting Justin Fields.
But it ain't sinking.
And 8 fumbles last year.
It ain't sinking. I ain't miraculously doing one of these. Just
bro, I ain't gonna lie to you.
You sure was looking like this for a good second. I'm like, what the heck is going on, Pat?
Hey, killing me. It kills me because on Locked On, I'm trying to look more professional. I'll be making a great point now to do it. But over here, right, like people just know what's going on with the chair. I ain't said nothing about the chair over there. So that mug could just start betraying me in the middle of that mug. Be like, hold on. So then it's a point, right? I was having this deep moment. Now I turned into my chair. There's a point, right, where I feel the chair sinking, and I'm like, man, I don't want to look stupid. So then I start using my legs to hold myself up in almost like a squat position. So I stop sinking. And then I realize I weigh a lot more than I did when I bought these chairs. Really, let's be real. It's the chairs giving up. That's what it is.
Then your thighs start burning because you're sitting there in
bit,
this whole
I'm getting a little workout in.
Hey, you got a whole. Hey, you are. That's about to be a sus comment. Never mind.
There, brother. What's going on out here?
Hey, Pat about to be here with the ultra slug because he been sumo squat this whole time.
See, that's the thing about Kid, right? Kid.
Pat
Kid,
finna be out here with the BBL look.
absolutely had. I told y'all Zion Williamson need to go get himself took care of. Really have a moment where he'll be like, "Hey, this might be a pause," and then he'll definitely say it. But he'll be the first to kill you on a pause moment, bro. Like, come on, dog.
Hey, listen, you realize how manipulative that is? I told you beforehand, the sus moment is coming. Then I hit you with it, bam. Now you can't say nothing about it because I already told you it was coming. It's easy, dog. Easy. You just got to get ahead of it. That's all.
Oh man, that's funny. No, but the point I was making before my chair betrayed me is that every day in this business is not a content high, but I come in on this show trying to make every day a content high. And I think we got plenty of good content to drop for y'all today. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it as well. What can he say? Pat, he's saying your cheeks. Hey man, hey, listen.
Oh my
Everybody on
God.
the Contender side, by the way, make sure you guys tune in with the Contender, man. You hear Nonstop Sports Talk while you're on the clock, so make sure you get in tune with them as well. Hey,
First off, I didn't say it. He said it.
if you're missing
said it.
if you're missing the live chat, dog, you're missing something beautiful. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh man, it's a special place in hell for us.
Hey man, let's get into the sports talk today, man. A lot of craziness happened yesterday. Even off of it. First off, congratulations to the U.S. men's soccer team. Chicago Guards said red flag. Congratulations to the U.S. men. God dang it. Congratulations to the U.S. men's soccer team for making the World Cup. They made it in a loss. I don't really know how soccer works, so but I definitely want Pat, fix that chair. Chicago Bulls Central in the chat. Support your favorite YouTubers chair. Search people.
You know it's something if Hayes come in and roasting me.
Dog, how you get into
Hey, is this even this is not even a sports show anymore. This is just a regular pod at this point.
because I got you know what? It's stuff on top of that I got to get to too with it. Like even on just some like regular stuff. But we'll get to that later. Let's get it cracking with some sports. Question on the top. Are the Chicago Bears building a dominant defense under our nose? And I'm going to give you the reasoning behind me kind of looking at it. Now, of course, the play on the field has to dictate it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
But all the guys we've got that we've picked up this offseason, minus Ogunjobi, who would have been this big name for us, who would have been able to do more for us, but of course unable to pass the physical. I wonder if they can go back in on him at a lower price too because of that. Like, hey, bud, you can't pass your physical. We'll still bring you here, but we're gonna bring you here for much less money. Let you rehab here on a team. But
I wonder what the circumstances were.
20 mil over 4 years versus like whatever the contract was.
I wonder what the circumstances were. Like, how egregious was it?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously they can't release that. I think that's a HIPAA violation.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, it's still one of those things where you just always wonder because he's going to end up somewhere. He's going to get on a team.
He's going to be on the team, yeah.
So
it's one of those where I would hope that he's able to kind of I mean, if you can get him in here, he's still a good player when he's healthy. I just can't pay you that kind of money knowing that you're unhealthy. But you look at all of the names they brought in. Justin Jones, Crookshank yesterday. They're guys that in the grand scheme of things are filler pieces, right? He fits here, he fits here, he fits here, but he does his job.
And I absolutely knew nothing about my man.
Knew nothing about him. Had to go watch so much tape on him yesterday, bro.
I can't even pronounce his last name right.
I couldn't even drop a video because I didn't know nothing about my man.
Didn't know who Buddy was.
So
salute to you for making the league, though.
I went and looked down a lot of tape and looked at a lot of what he's able to do. Gonna be dropping that video today. But how they're building this team reminds me, now hopefully it can aspire to this, of
Mhm.
how those Patriots defenses that were championship defenses were built. A bunch of dudes that did something really well and were put in that position to do that thing that they do really well. I looked at the signing of Crookshank yesterday, and it's really what made me think about it, because I was like, man, we keep signing these dudes that are just like, yeah, he's good at that, but like he's not great in the grand scheme of things. But then I thought about it yesterday. The Packers' only real tight end coming into this, or only real option coming into this season at receiver that's great, is their tight end, Robert Tonyan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we'd call him great. The Vikings have Everson Griffin, absolute killer, can kill you up and down the field. And we know that Kirk Cousins is willing to take the check down to get the ball up and down the field. Justin Jones, run stopper. Hey, both those teams have really good run games. I started looking, I was like, we're actually putting a team together to stop the things that teams do well that are in our division right now. And the Lions' only weapon legitimately is their
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
It's Jared Goff.
Their biggest weakness is Jared Goff, but their only weapon legitimately is their tight end. So, like, you brought in a dude who's known as the tight end stopper, and I had to go back and watch him. Now, granted, last season was his first season getting that real opportunity to do it. But in your first season getting a real opportunity to do it, and you made Travis Kelce's life a living hell,
something to be said about that.
There's something to be said about. And so I'm asking the question now to Bears Nation, Bulls Nation, Breeze Nation. Do you think that as you look at this defense, right, you're getting a bunch of guys who aren't stars, but a bunch of guys who do things really well to pair with the guys you hope are your stars? You know, Roquan's a star. You hope that Robert Quinn can continue what he did last year. You hope Jalen Johnson finally becomes that player that we think he is. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to get the opportunity to get the ball thrown to him this season. Do you feel like that's it? Or do you feel like this is just, there's not a lot out there, I'm being cheap?
Well, I have to recant my statement about Poles because I have to really look at what he was inheriting and the fiasco that he had to deal with. And so, you know, I have to really change that just because he doesn't have the same, you know, leeway as you would like. So him to set himself up for a successful second year in this role was really one of the smartest things he could have done. And so he seems to be a man who's very succinct, very decisive. I think he rolled into the season saying, hey, listen, we may not be the best team this first season, but hey, this is a process. When I said we're going to take back the North, I didn't say it was going to be tomorrow. I said it was going to be eventually.
I didn't say when we was taking it.
I just said we was going to take it. And as long as we eventually take it, I'm a man of my word. Anyway, but with that being said, like some of these pieces, the team that you mentioned, the Patriots, spot on, because I cannot really put together a team that had a bunch of, I don't want to say nobodies, that's so disrespectful. A bunch of players that you really that fly under the radar. I think that's a better way of saying it. I didn't know of another team that had so many people who flew under the radar that had massive success outside of a Bill Belichick team. And while I haven't seen it done often, the simple fact that we are in that situation where we kind of have to pull that type of maneuver right now.
Yeah.
I like it. I dig it. And you know what? You know what a Bill Belichick team has done? Bill went from having a Cam Newton-led Patriots team that was like literally 2 games off of being, 9-7, I believe. Very close.
If he didn't catch COVID, they might have actually had a decent little run there.
So you saw what he did with that, and then what did he do the next offseason? Bill spent as much money as he could. Right? Bill bought everything.
Bill told you, Doc. Bill was like, bro, we broke. Hey, bro. Hey, Bill said, I gotta find a way to get this money by tomorrow.
And tomorrow was next season, but he did it. So, like, for him to do it, and we saw what it led to, and the team that they built around Mac Jones, I see us taking a very similar, approach. Obviously, we had all these massive contracts to unload, all these bad signings, as you all would say, from Ryan Pace. I like what he's doing. Now, don't ask me about some of these people because I've never seen them. I didn't pay attention to him.
We're going to get into some tape on him.
I'm going to lean on Pat. He said he watched the film. That's the guy. Hold on, wait. This way. That's the guy right there. That guy.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm going to give you some great color commentary. That hit looked great, Pat. Don't know who he hit.
You know what? It was interesting watching this tape yesterday because it was a ton of tape of him basically just doing what he does well, coming up, uh, 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 taking the tight end out of the play, which is something that you absolutely need. Coming up, blowing up in the backfield, rushing well. You know what I'm saying? Like things that you really just, hey, this guy does this really, really well. And I started looking through and I was like, Justin Jones, really good third down run stopper. Uh, Nicholas Morrow might be a underrated piece overall when you pair him next to Roquan Smith, because that's the part, right, that we don't think about, right? You see the people come in and you think, who's that? What's that name? That makes no sense. Why would you get that guy? You don't think about the guys that you're pairing them with where they're able to move and now move easier because you got Morrow next to Roquan Smith. Guess what? I'm scared of Roquan breaking my neck. You might be able to get a whole bunch of tackles in here and might be able to fly under the radar because I'm worried about this dude right here. Now he has his career high in interceptions for us. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that where it's about how you pair these guys together. And I think we're starting to see Coach E's theme with this team. He wants guys that are going to hit hard, have good hands, and can fly. I mean, you brought in Cruikshank, and he's quick to the ball, dog. He is quick to the ball. So it's one of those things to me where it's like,
I would be, you know, the one thing I will say with all of everything you just mentioned, you know, people being quick to the ball and stuff like that. I know you're talking about one end of the spectrum. And okay, here we go. So I know we talk about one end of the spectrum, but on the other end, the one thing I absolutely love is the fact that Matty E and that whole coaching staff that we've kind of put together, the way that they've, from what we've seen, kind of honed in on making sure that Justin is ready. I like that. I like the fact that they put a lot of time and attention, or they've given that the time and attention that he needed, and that's in stark contrast to where he was coming from before. I liken this to a San Francisco situation with Trey Lance. You know, it's rumored that the 49ers said no to Tom Brady going there because they wanted to roll with Trey Lance. Do you know how much confidence you have to have in your organization to say no to the GOAT? Right? And I feel like that's but that, look at the confidence that instills in young QB and stuff like that. Look at what that can potentially do from that particular standpoint. So for me, it seems like that's what the Bears are doing. They're doing enough on one end of the ball to be competitive, to be in the games, but they're spending a lot of time and attention on that development, getting him that center. I know this is a little off from what Pat just mentioned, but it just made me think of that because we're not going to have a lot of those household names and things of that nature on the defensive side of the ball. But if you've paid attention to Ryan, who was about to say Pace again, y'all know who I'm trying to say. I'm about to just call that man RP because I can't. If I say Pace one more time, I'm gonna be upset. Pose, what Ryan Pose mentioned, being able to sign in the secondary market and stuff like that, finding that those gems and those in that situation, those things are what he's kind of putting together, and it really does give a opportunity for those who aren't household names, as I think Baki mentioned that in the chat. Because guess what? They're all professional athletes. Some of them just need to be in the right situation, have the opportunity to kind of show their skill set and have the opportunity to actually play. And you know, as many of you all know, I'm a huge NBA person. We talk NBA all day long. But I do believe that the same thing happens in football. I do believe that it's a lot of people on those rosters who are just waiting for that opportunity, who just haven't gotten it yet. And so if Pose is really good at finding that type of talent, happy to see it. I think Hayes mentioned Pringle being some. I thought Pringle, for one, KC just had too many weapons. You can have too much of a good thing. You know who has like too many weapons too? Arizona. Arizona had too many weapons. I don't know why he didn't get that job done. Talking about that QB, but Arizona has so many weapons that some of those people stat wise don't look as great, but they're pretty freaking good. Like Rondale Moore, they had so many weapons that sometimes he'd have a monster game, and then sometimes he wouldn't. just based off of spreading the wealth and stuff like that. And so, but those are names where walking into it 2 seasons ago or a season ago, you were kind of on the fence about. But it's a really good player. I think we have a bunch of players like that on the Bears now, and at a very low cost. And I dig it. I really dig it. I really have to go back and check myself. Really, I can change my whole narrative on it because, I mean, really, what more can I say? You right there?
Dog. Work from home to your wife often mean, hey, you there so stuff can happen. So she was like, hey, it's a table getting delivered upstairs. I'm like, I'm doing a show right now. What are you talking about? It's all good. I got a new coffee table. It's actually really nice. Shout out to her. What are we talking about, dog? I don't know what's going on.
Hey, we at home, man. I'm having one of the worst days ever. Like, I first saw, I feel like crap. I don't know why. I'm not. I don't feel like I don't feel like COVID-y. I don't feel like I have to cope. Just a bad day. The hair's just not hairing today. The waves are not spinning like they normally do. I don't know what's going on today. I look real rough. This is a bad day, man. This is a bad day. I'm not really feeling it. Not really feeling it. This is one of those days that I'm going to file in the forget file. Absolutely. But anyway, back to what I was saying before you came back talking about some coffee table and you bring them back no goddamn coffee.
Dilly. Sips tea.
Sips a milkshake. But no, as I know you just joining back in, but I was just talking about how Pose has so far signed a lot of those in that secondary market, as he mentioned in his press conference, one of his initial press conferences. He's gone really deep into that.
Yep.
And I'm kind of liking how they put it together. I'm liking how he's going because again, he doesn't have the ability to sign those big names like we want. All of that's going to happen next year. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, just as someone who's here, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of research.
Yeah.
If we don't have a monster next season, as far as our signings and stuff like that, with 140 million available, it's gonna be a problem.
You know what?
It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, here's the thing. Yes and no, right? Because this year is going to show me a lot. If these guys now listen, what do we always say? If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But if these kind of guys pan out for polls, it shows me that he has that eye to identify talent, right? So if you build out a team where, say, Roquan is the heart of this defense, you have to pay Roquan. You haven't paid him. He'll be on his 5th year next year. You have to pay Roquan.
That's
so
true.
Now you re-sign the heart of your team. You put a bunch of pieces around him that are really good pieces, and you maybe go out and you get the pass rusher you thought you were going to get in Ogunjobi this year, in somebody else. Your defense is just based on, hey, let's hit the quarterback and get the ball going the other way. A lot of coverages, a lot of cover twos, stuff like that. So, like, to me, I don't need a huge name signing if this offseason shows me that polls can actually identify talent and you keep the huge name you already have. If you really look at Roquan Smith's numbers, he is on a trajectory to be a Bobby Wagner type of player. And it's no, I don't know. It's one of them days. He's on a trajectory to be a Bobby Wagner type of player. If you're starting off with a Bobby Wagner type of player on your team already, and you keep that guy, then yeah, I can put some really nice pieces around him. They don't have to be the biggest names. And here's the thing, you might still get a big name this offseason. Now I know the signing of Cruikshank might make a lot of people feel that, oh, this is the we're out on Tyrann Mathieu signing, which it could be, but like I said, he plays a role. The Bears might still very well be in on Tyrann Mathieu. That's a huge name signing. Now, granted, not the exact piece I would want to pair up next to Eddie Jackson, but we don't know if Eddie Jackson is the future on this team. Tyrann Mathieu might be the piece you get to replace Eddie Jackson.
You know, I'm very, very more so focused on the offensive end.
Facts.
Because we've been a defensive team most of my life.
All of my life.
Right. And so the one thing I'm not ever going to say about Chicago is that we can't build a good defense.
That's
We've
a fact.
always, in some way, bounced back with our defense. It just is what it is. We've always done it. But what we've never really done is had a dynamic offense. And so at this point, I need more done on our offensive end. I need us to make sure that we have officially gotten our left and right tackles positions correct.
Yeah.
People are in the right place. I really need to see it. So outside of everything else, shout out to Samurai J. I don't know if I missed
I
that.
was looking for it. I couldn't even see it. I see it on my screen down here. I don't have it on my you dig. Shout out Samurai J for supporting the channel. Suzuki's first MLB hit was a 2-run blast. Go Cubs, go. Yeah, let's hope he don't.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say? But with all that being said, like, listen, you know how long it's been since we've had a dynamic offense?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was in his first contract in the NBA.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan been retired 20 years, bro.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan 60.
Yeah.
It's been that long since we've had a dynamic offense.
Well, I'm not gonna say because those Jay Cutler years with Brandon Marshall, the offense actually was dynamic, but the defense was garbage at that point. But also,
ain't nothing dynamic about my QB getting hit 58 times in a season.
They still put up a lot of points. But no, a dynamic offense that has a star on it that wins.
That wins.
Unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? Like Walter Payton legitimately was unstoppable. Is Justin Fields the next? You're not going to be Walter Payton, but is he the next unstoppable piece? Like, we haven't had an unstoppable piece on this team since Justin Fields or since Walter Payton. Who's been unstoppable on the offensive?
And that's the next thing I want to bring up is the simple fact that, you know, the league has totally changed. Like, there used to be where you could have our elite was top 5. Are you a top 5 QB?
Yeah.
You have to start thinking top 15 almost. You literally, I can name you 12 people who can get you a win. Who can get you
a win and a leader is still two different things though. Like, I would like we agree that like Kirk Cousins is like 10. Kirk Cousins ain't an elite quarterback.
But let's look at you look at the list. You got Tom, you got Pat, you got Lamar, you got Deshaun now. He's back.
Yeah, being back, yeah.
You got Allen.
Yep.
You got Herbert.
He got to win something for me, but yeah. Or at least
let's throw Herbert to the back of the list. You got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is still a elite quarterback.
Hey, Matty Ice is back, baby.
Matty Ice is elite. I don't care what nobody say. Go look at the tape and go look at the stats.
Hey,
Matt is elite.
Ain't
Joe
nobody
Burrow,
because Russell is out in Denver. Hey, the Colts got a whip.
Colts got a squad.
Colts got a whip.
We got Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
We got Russ.
Yes.
We got Dak. We got Derek. Now we got Herbert. Now we got, like, I can name you, like, if we had any of those QBs with just good enough protection. Well, any QB with good protection is going to be all right. But I mean, like, you know, those in particular,
there's
you
more.
You got the
now. There's more quarterbacks now than ever
before. This is the greatest time for quarterbacks.
You win a football game.
Greatest time in the history of football for quarterbacks. Sincerely. We have never seen this many.
You know what's weird about it too? It's like is there about to be a drop off?
It has to be eventually
because it's from the greatest time. There's still just 2, right? There's still 3. Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson from that previous regime of quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, 4. Matt Ryan can't even.
Damian hasn't heard of the name.
How is he?
Dan Marino.
Yeah,
Dan Marino is literally, if you go look at Dan Marino, was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes.
Dan Marino was wild, bro.
Dan Marino was the man.
I will say this. Somebody made this observation about the show. He said, fam, Y'all will be making some great points. And to make your point, you'll bring up somebody from the 1950s out of nowhere. I was like, man, we don't really do it like that. He was like, y'all be at least in the 80s. I pulled up one day and y'all was talking about Jerry Rice and how he compared to wide receivers now.
Dog. That's a great comparison because Jerry Rice would dog walk a lot of people nowadays. Dog. Jerry Rice was like Michael Jordan on a Wizards jersey, dogging people for 20 points a game. Like, I don't understand. Jerry Rice was a whole freak of nature. He still looked like he can run a good route. I don't know what's going on with Jerry. Jerry, he cheated too because he definitely said I used Stickum. But anyway,
it wasn't illegal. It wasn't. They didn't make Stickum illegal until Buddy set the single season interception record, or no, single game interception record, because his hands was so covered in Stickum. When you see it, bro, it looked like he got tree sap on both hands. You can visibly see it. He caught like 6 interceptions that game.
No, he didn't catch. He just
didn't catch nothing. He just put his hand up there, bro. Bro, when I tell you they banned Stickum the game after the season after that, they were like, never again, bro. What was that?
But going back to the initial point, this has to be. When's the last time you've seen 10 to 15 QBs of this caliber?
Yeah.
In the league at the same time, active QBs.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, if you look at it, are in their prime.
Yes.
This is the greatest.
Now, because of how the rules are, the prime is extended.
Hey, listen, Aaron Rodgers is 38. Matt Ryan is 38. They all
Brady is 44.
He's 40. These guys could play until they're 46, 47. I don't see Tom playing 3 more seasons. I can see him playing 2. But still, like,
anymore. That's wild in itself, dog. We're like, I don't know if he'll play 3 more seasons, but 2 I can see.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, at this point, it's necessary to build a high-powered offense. Like, it's necessary. It's the only way that we're going to compete, because we still have legitimately, good Lord,
Lester Hayes, bro.
He looked like I'm gonna cheat today. He looked like he was like, hey, I'm about to kill him today. Bro, that's horrible.
Bro, look at the socks, though.
Bro.
The fact
oh my God.
Got it on there.
Oh my God. How do you get that stuff off your hands?
I don't know. I've never had to use Stickum, bro. I did mess with Spider Tack a little bit. I've heard that it's less sticky than that.
It's less sticky than Spider Tack.
Less sticky than that. And Spider Tack was ridiculously sticky.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. But anyway, like, going back to this though, like,
record, I don't think it's been broken.
Is it still valid?
Yeah. It was. Stickum wasn't illegal.
Well, like, if it's not,
he's not.
He said it's still on his hands. It's still on his hands. Oh God, I can believe that one. Good Lord. No, but still, you know, getting our offense right, getting that whole thing right. You know, we didn't even mention Ryan Tannehill. And Ryan Tannehill has absolutely turned his career around. He has. He's turned his career around.
He has turned his career around.
We didn't mention Kyler Murray. There's a lot of QBs that we can really, if we really just dive into the numbers and just dive into these moments, we can extend this to almost 16 to 17 QBs before we even get to Justin. Trey Lance. Didn't even mention Mac Jones. We are in a very deep. So what does that tell me? Hey, listen, we're going to have some fits for the next 5-10 years?
Yeah.
Easily. We got to get those positions right. And so now, you know what we're going to have? We're going to have round after round of high wide receiver drafts.
Yes.
Because we have too many QBs. They got to have targets. So now the pressure is going to be on that. You're going to be seeing wide receivers drafted really high first rounds from this point forward. QBs are not going to be the thing. It doesn't make sense. I don't need
Well,
to be sitting there drafting
this is the thing,
QBs
right?
early in round 1.
You'll always have it be the thing for teams that haven't found that guy.
That's true.
Like this season, the Lions have their quarterback. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Like they're probably in the running for Malik Willis, who's probably
we didn't even mention Matthew Stafford. God dang.
You know what I'm
saying, Pat? He just won a championship.
Listen, there's a ton of quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and I think it's weird to say, right? But it's especially being a Bears fan. But this is probably the best time to find quarterbacks, and why? Right? The NFL's hitting that bump that the NBA has hit. The athletes are becoming better athletes more consistently. Why is that? Because you don't got Ray down in Georgia just throwing the football to his brothers in the front yard, and then all of a sudden he get a scholarship because some dude driving down the street like, is that Ray? Look at him, put him on the field, throw a jersey on him, let's see what he do. Like these mugs are running NFL drills at 10 years old. All right, you want to do a 3-step drop here, son, step up. Like you look at, this is why, to me, Mitchell Trubisky will always be interesting, right? It's the question on athlete versus talent. Justin Fields looked way worse than Mitchell Trubisky, or numbers-wise, his rookie year.
Oh, absolutely.
But Justin Fields looked like a quarterback his rookie year. Justin Fields looked like he'd been playing quarterback his entire life. With every movement he made, like we have nitpicky things to say, held on to the ball too long, might have underthrown it a slight bit here. If he puts a little bit more on that, the wide receiver's able to run that one right into the end zone. But you watch him backing up, head, going through his reads at no point, trying to find the right guy, bam, makes the decision. Mitch was like, hey, you're my read. If you ain't there, I'm running. So, like, there's a difference. Like, there's guys
type of QB
quarterback. Like Mitch probably was always the best athlete on his team, which is why he was the quarterback. But we all know that dude, right? He really a basketball player, but he played quarterback because he the fastest dude on the team. So he dropped back. We got no offensive line. He take off. Justin.
You know I ain't going to go for the biscuit slander too much longer.
No, it's not even.
Not going to do it, buddy. Can't do it.
It's not slander. It's legitimately how the difference in quarterbacks being developed is. Like, it seems like Justin, since he was 8 years old, has been, all right, today we're going to work on your 5-step drop. Today we're going to work on you moving around in the pocket. Today we're going to work on your progression. Today we're going to, different things like that, where it seems like, and if you watch in high school, that's how Justin Fields legitimately still the best athlete on the team, all of that. But he's absolutely in high school, dropping back, going through his reads, 1, 2, 3, bam, I'm going to hit 3. 1, 2, up the tight ends right there. I'm going to drop this off to you. Like he's doing that. Where if you look at Mitch in high school, Mitch was legit like, let me get this mug. I got a cannon. Boom. All right, let me get this mug. He ain't run far enough.
I like
take off.
That's why I mentioned when you left, I like the fact that they put a lot of time and attention on him, on his mechanics and things of that nature. Because that's good coaching. That's good development. Things of that nature.
Yeah.
First year, you didn't get that with Justin Fields. Justin Fields came into the league just solely on his own merit. Didn't get many first team reps, even when he was, which is the dumbest thing ever. I've never heard that before. He didn't get any of those opportunities, and so I don't look at his first season as he's a bust. But I also look at who put him in that situation and what was the proof. The proof was already in the pudding for me because based off how he handled Trubisky. Trubisky to me, different quarterback, and that's cool because guess what? That's the same thing. That's the same issue we had with comparing Patrick Mahomes to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
different quarterback. They play that position completely different. Now, can Mahomes run? Yeah, it ain't his strong suit though. Like his strong suit, sitting there throwing passes diagonal to the ground.
He realize he be getting up out of that mug. I'm not gonna
get up the jam. Hey, listen, you gotta be mobile, but he ain't Lamar Jackson when he gets mobile. Lamar Jackson with his legs, complete game changer. Lamar Jackson with his arm, game manager. It's the
But
total difference
even
with
even with those two, right? Like, even that's a great way to put it, actually. Even with those two players, though, right? Like, it seems like Pat Mahomes has been playing quarterback his whole life, maybe more of a backyard style of it. I don't think his is a polished style at all, but I think he's been playing quarterback his whole life. Lamar Jackson seemed like he played football his whole life. Like, hey, what you play? Man, sometimes I be quarterback. They put me
play
out at
everything,
wide.
dog.
Yeah, I played running back a couple
I
games
play
ago.
everything.
I was playing safety on the other side. I got 3 interceptions. What?
Hey, coach, just put me in a slot.
Put me in the slot, bro.
I got you. Put me in a slot.
Like
Hey, coach.
that's legit how it seems with Lamar. So like and that's not to knock anybody. Like, there's different levels of development for every player. I truly hope Biscuits goes out to Pittsburgh and balls out. He's got the weapons to do it. He's got the line to do it. He's got the head coach to do it. He has no more excuses. Get the job done.
Get the job done.
He has no more excuses. But I feel like
I'm gonna be on him this season. This is gonna be the season. This is gonna be the season whether he makes me keeps me as a fan or I'm gonna have to Kobe White him. You know I Kobe White him.
Hey, listen, it's the NFL, bro. You're not gonna get you're not gonna get a player
Kobe
back.
White that man, dog.
In a second, bro. You're not gonna get a player.
I'm a
back.
Kobe White that. Hey, listen, he gonna get like a 4th, if that.
No,
Hey, we'll take
gonna-
Biscuit.
You'll
We'll
have
just
to
take the
give me a
contract.
fourth to take Biscuits. That's who this gonna become if he messes up now. Hey, you couldn't work with them.
Side
They made
note,
Mason Rudolph work.
I thought the wildest thing was when they said for Baker Mayfield, the team was like, "Yeah, well, you'd have to give us a pick to take the contract."
Yeah.
I thought that was super wild, super wild. I don't know if he'll never be elite. That's a
Patrick Mahomes is elite physical tools like Josh Allen. Trubisky is good, but he will never be elite. You don't have to be. That's the thing, right? There's a lot of elite or a lot of the quarterbacks that we would say are 11 through 20. They got rings.
Eli Manning. Eli Manning had like 2 elite seasons.
Absolutely 11 through 20. The only reason we ever put him in top 10 is because he was in New York.
He has like 2 seasons where he just balled out. But outside of that, he never really held elite status long enough for us to consider him a, he just had longevity on his side and they let him air it out at times. And he beat the GOAT twice.
Yeah.
He's the only one who can say he did it.
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, baby.
Oh, instantly.
Hey, I love shout out to Marv too. Marv said, "Will anybody sign Akeem Hicks, guys?"
I mean, I'm sure he'll find a job. I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get crazy money, but I think he'll find a job. Akeem Hicks, when healthy, is great. The thing is, he's probably going to be healthy for about 6 weeks if you got him starting every single down like he was here. Cowboys are signing him. Okay, all right. Shout out to him. I can see him working on that team. He gonna go up.
I don't know what the Cowboys are doing.
No, the Cowboys are missing. That's what
the
Cowboys are doing. Hey, I want y'all to understand something, right? The Bears had 2 players, one that got re-signed by his original team, and the other one that got hurt and couldn't pass a physical. Y'all need to look at the Cowboys offseason before y'all start killing what Ryan Poles is doing at all.
Jerry Jones need to let it go.
Jerry Jones just signing checks now, bro.
And draft.
Not really. He's the face of it. So he the one that's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna put these picks in from my $1 billion yacht. Fan, that yacht is ridiculous, bro.
Hey, listen, if I get that type of money, if I live long enough, I will have that type of money. Let's just be clear on this.
You know what? I try not to put myself in positions on the like if I get a yacht, I'm gonna be on that mud. I try not to put myself in positions on a consistent basis where stuff can take me out. Hey, look. I don't want to have that kind of money and get took out by the ocean.
Oh, dog. How about this? The yachts that we're talking about, probably unsinkable. I'll be honest with you. Those boats have helicopters inside of them. Hey, guess what? Hey, listen, this boat's going down. Fire it up. We're out of here. Like that's what Jerry's talking about. Jerry ain't finna down no boat. Anyway, but like seriously,
it's a lot of people that tried to beat Mother Nature. God keep winning.
Whoa. This ain't man versus God. This is just man versus some water right now. Hold
Hey,
up.
hey, hey,
Hold up.
water ain't lost yet. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
The
Water ain't
Titanic was
lost
100 years ago, my boy. You gotta let that go.
yet. Hey,
I ain't heard of a cruise ship or a yacht sinking in a while.
they just had multiple ones sinking over COVID.
Time out. Those boats had just sat there, was not being cared for, and eventually just the holes cracked and
There
they
were
sank.
people on them boats. They end up having a COVID outbreak and wouldn't let them back in.
Dog, why you gotta ruin my thought? Mate, I said it with confidence. You gotta believe it. I said it with confidence.
Hey, bro,
That's all you gotta do. Say it with confidence, right? I said it with confidence. Ain't no boat sinking.
fam, a whole cruise ship sank. I believe it had people on it. I think they got majority of the people off of it, but a whole cruise ship sank, and nobody talks about that. We got a whole movie for Titanic. What we got for Caribbean Suites or whatever that mug is called? Whatever that like, what's that mug?
16 ships have sunk between 1980 to 2016.
15.
I'll take that bet. You know how many ships are on the water at any given time?
Hold on.
16 cruise ships have sank.
Oh, 16 cruise ships. I was gonna say 16 ships have sunk.
Okay, I said cruise ships. I ain't
Okay,
say six. I ain't nah. How did we get on cruise ships? All right, listen.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, going back to this yacht.
Hey,
All right.
that's how the Cowboys draft right there. That's exactly why. So many issues. They be sitting there talking about, all right, how we gonna do this foot? Man, that is a nice decor you got up there. Where'd you get that from? Oh, the picks got to get in.
I mean, listen. At this point, you got to be honest. We can hate Jerry Jones. They can clown Jerry Jones, but Jerry Jones is like what, 80, 85?
800.
He's a multi-billionaire. Jerry Jones can do whatever the heck he wants. And the whole goal in a capitalist society is to be able to do whatever the heck you want. So shout out to that man. He owns a football team that is considered America's team, and they ain't won nothing in a while. But it's America's team. Imagine the power and the branding and stuff like that. If you really dive deep, you know what? That's what I like. Since that's my stick here, I'm gonna go ahead and make videos like that. Like if y'all ever randomly, as we go, I'm gonna use this to transition to some basketball too. You all ever looked at Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech?
Yeah.
You know how many people killed him for being egotistical? I'm like, that's not being egotistical. Mike just told you what kept his fire going. How's that being egotistical? And now he's a billionaire. You think he's not playing them same type of games with Pat Riley and all them stuff? Like he's playing, he's the same Mike.
Hey,
He's playing a different game.
It's still egotistical. You just agree with it.
It's not egotistical.
It's pretty egotistical. Based on the definition of egotistical.
Hey Rodney, you like how I made that a verb? Man, I'm about to Kobe White Pat because he keep making up stuff. It's not egotistical as I agree. That's a bar, by the way. I'm not gonna let that. That's a bar. It's
What?
egotistical because it's not egotistical to me because I agree with it. That's a bar. I gotta give you that one. I gotta give you that one. That's that. I didn't know what to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I didn't know what to say.
Mike clearly, like the biggest credit we give to Phil Jackson is what?
Excessively conceited or absorbed. I didn't look at that speech as him being excessively conceited.
Fail.
But what is excessively conceited?
He brought the dude that beat him on the high school team to say, hey, I appreciate you for giving me an enemy to be better than you.
Dog, that's not ego. Like, honestly, most people didn't know that story. Most people thought it was a lie that he got cut and stuff like that.
Who didn't know that?
I know people who was like, Mike ain't never get cut. Like, dog, Mike got cut from his high school team. I don't know.
Stop talking to them people. They clearly don't pay attention.
Like, so for him to actually just let you dive into that side of him, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. It has nothing to do. I'm not an egomaniac, but I loved every bit of it because you got to see the real person. Now, how Mike gambles, whole different story. How competitive he is, whole different story. But for him to let you dive deep into where it started and stuff like that, you never would have gotten that from Michael Jordan outside of that. Never. Outside of the Last Dance.
He's giving you like 17 documentaries.
Okay. he's giving you like 2 that he personally produced.
But we all done seen all of these documentaries that, hey, listen, the documentaries that he personally produced are no different than the documentaries that we saw. We just got a deeper look into everything that was going on the inside with The Last Dance, which, by the way, we got to get a film crew because apparently that's the move 30 years from now, to just drop a documentary on what you were doing.
Like, you could have never told me Kanye West really recorded all that crap.
All
Like,
of it, bro.
Like, really?
Fam, y'all got to understand, he recorded himself failing miserably multiple times. Who keeps recording? He recorded himself trying to spit to these mugs, and this is at a time where these are not small cameras. So you got some dude walking around with the.
Did you really?
Go ahead, spit that real quick, yeah.
But
Oh no,
you ain't had nothing but a chair.
Oh, no.
What the heck is going on? You picked up a whole chair.
Yay, no, yeah. That ain't it, yay. That ain't it. and they say Shy City. Nah, they not feeling it, bro. No, stop rapping though. Stop. Hold on, I gotta change tapes.
The camera was big as heck back then.
All right, go ahead again.
Them cameras was big as heck, dog. Hey man, the one thing I will say is I'm absolutely gonna be documenting from now on because I can see this being totally different in 5 years. And I would absolutely want to document it.
I'm trying to document the journey, but it's hard to like document the journey while doing the journey and being the reason for the journey. So it's like I'll be recording, I'll be like, fam, I have a 2-hour video because I forgot I had my camera sitting on the mantle just recording. Or my phone sitting on the mantle just recording. And so I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just moving around doing this. And I was like, where the heck is my phone at? I ain't got a text message in a minute.
The people don't love me no more.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I ain't got no sports updates. I ain't got nothing. Where's my phone?
Hey, man.
My phone was on fire.
No. You know the weirdest thing though, as I want to make this shift into the NBA now.
Before we do that, we got to touch on Bruce Arians and Tom Brady beef. But yeah, we can.
All right, bringing it back to GOAT talk. Michael Jordan's
the GOAT action.
Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech, 23 minutes and 24 seconds. 23 minutes and 23 seconds if you don't count the time it took for him to turn around.
And if you really look at it, at that time frame, Ray Lewis was just getting into Genesis 1-2 in his Hall of Fame speech.
Dog, I when I looked at first of all, I didn't even get through his Hall of Fame speech. I promise you, right? I've never watched
his Hall of Fame speech because at first it was like, yeah, it's about the team, and then after a while it got to like minute 29. That mug was and praise, and we gotta get in there, and we gotta go. I was like, what's he doing outside? Why is he sweating? Why?
That's what he's known for.
Sweating.
It's two things. How many times would PK bring up Kyrie in 5 years? Depends on how many rings he wins with Brooklyn.
Great. Hey, somebody need to go back and look at the videos. How many times has PK brought up Kyrie in the time frame?
Dog,
switching teams 15 times.
I'm gonna bring him up because he's literally the most skilled player in the NBA.
Yes, he is. It's not even close.
It's not even close. No, it is close. KD.
Nah. KD's just 7 feet tall.
Well, hey.
KD's still, like, not to say KD's not incredibly skilled, but, like, you can be less skilled and dominate at an equal level when you
have certain advantages. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, getting back to, because can you imagine being the fans who thought that Tom Brady was going to retire and they spent all this money on all this memorabilia because it was supposed to be Tom's last season, and he's back.
It's weird too, right? Because it's like
I mean, he's
I
back
didn't
in good
think
fashion.
I didn't think he was retiring because of the beat. We heard at the end of last season that he had issues with Bruce Arians, and they were kind of, trying to figure out what was going to happen. They were disagreeing, stuff like that. And his biggest issue was that Arians, like Arians said, right, the thing that I thought we was all giving him credit for, apparently Tom Brady hated that Arians essentially, from what we heard, would let Leftwich and Brady get the game plan together all week. But they managed to exclude the part where he would come in at the end of the week and like, now I'm gonna put my spin on it and I'm gonna red line this and we're not gonna do this and this don't make sense and this don't work. And Brady didn't like that. Now the weird part about it is, right, it worked.
Did it though?
You won a Super Bowl.
I mean, the first
There for both of them. Listen, there's no bigger proof of it worked than winning a Super Bowl.
I mean, he didn't like being with Belichick after a while because it got tiring, and they won
Like
6.
Belichick, because Belichick treated him like he was one of 53, and Tom, no, he ain't one of 53. he ain't like Belichick, because he was on some, hey, man, I'm a pretty freaking good quarterback, and we won a lot of Super Bowls together. Can I get a little bit more praise
Absolutely.
than the average guy? Belichick was like, hey, Tom, you're a cog in the machine. Hey,
So
might
I'm
be
gonna
right.
drop this question off to give you a talk point. I'll be right back. So, what do you think led to this whole restructuring of him being retired to the front office? What do you think happened?
That's a great way to put it, too. Retired to the front office. I think that Brady wasn't done playing football. You know what I'm saying? We clearly saw that Tom Brady still wanted to play football. We clearly saw that Tom Brady wanted to still be out there. But at first it was like, oh, his family's telling him to come home. Oh, he wants to be home with his kids more. He wants to do more with the children. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Where now we're seeing maybe he really left because I don't want to be under Bruce Arians no more. I don't want to have somebody redlining all these plays that we feel worked well and we've run in practice and we've done well. I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So and here's the thing, right? This is a great question. Shout out to Steve-O. Does it have to be Brady's way or the highway? I'm somebody who I like a even working relationship, right? Where everybody understands how they're important to everyone. But if we're being honest, there are players that dictate policy. There are players that dictate what's going to happen. Brady left New England so that he could dictate policy. Let's not get it twisted. So coming over to play with Bruce Arians and Brady's kind of dictating. Now he was still dictating policy. Who's he want on the team? Hey, I'm bringing Gronk. Let's get AB in here. Hey, we got to get this. Let's go get Fournette. Let's get these guys some opportunities to win. There are certain players that you do acquiesce to their whim. Tom Brady's that player. You don't tell the GOAT no.
I thought I had to run out without my phone.
You good?
Am I good?
I don't know. Are you good?
All right, I'm good.
All right, cool.
Hey, listen, same thing, same situation. Had packages outside and it's raining.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look like you stomp people out in that Scully and Black.
Hey man, listen, I thought I had to put some Black Tim energy out here, dog. Thought I had to hit it with the one wham, like make it. Thought I had to do that, but nah, it's all good. But no, like you said, there are some players you acquiesce to. Tom Brady is a player you acquiesce to.
Yeah. Is
I don't even know why that's even like a problem. Like it's the
well,
GOAT.
I think it's weird, right? Because you didn't get rid of uh Arians, and I think it's because of what Arians brought. Arians is successful. Like it or not, Arians is madly successful. So you didn't get rid of him, but
How many rings he get? What constitutes a successful coach?
he's got 2, right? He's got one with the Steelers.
What constitutes a successful coach?
I mean, if we're being real, 1 Super Bowl ring
Say what?
and a bunch of good teams. Think about Ditka.
You know, Ditka is kind of like a Chicago thing. Ditka is not really revered much outside of Chicago.
Ditka's a football thing. Ditka's like this is the thing. I say Ditka, and everyone knows who I'm talking about.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's almost like you say Barkley. Everyone knows who you're talking about. Now, mind you, Freak is a good athlete, but I mean,
but this is the thing, right? If I say Shanahan to you, who you think about?
which one?
I don't know. Which one?
I don't know. That's what I think of when you say Shanahan. I'm like, all right, which one? That's legitimately my response. Like, I don't know. Which one? Kyle?
Or
I don't even know his brother's last
exactly.
name.
Listen, no, this
it's 2 minutes to 5.
Hey, kid, you said brother. You're not even thinking about the fact that his dad is a Hall of Fame coach that invented the West Coast offense. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking of Kyle Shanahan right now. Like I say Ditka, and you know immediately what it is. At a minimum, you think of doggone Italian sausages. Because he was like the face of Italian sausages for Chicago for a minute out here.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's a rough statement to make. I don't know if I should make that statement. Don't know if I should make that statement. In my travels, Ditka does not get the respect that he does
Here.
That
doesn't surprise me.
Like period.
Yeah.
So that's just my take on that one.
I think
it's Chicago. Like we Chicago over everybody.
I think it's a lot of what Steve-O says, right? For football, successful coaches, at least a ring and an NFC and AFC NFC championship, at least 2 Super Bowl appearances. Like Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the greatest head coaches of all time. He's won 1 Super Bowl, but he's been to 3. And he's been to multiple AFC and NFC championship games.
So who comes in as a clear number 2 when it comes to that? Like clearly, like BA got too big for his britches. When
right, he is number 2.
BA is number 2.
No, Andy.
Bill's one. Andy is the second greatest coach, NFL coach of all time. Is that what you're saying?
No, from this generation, I'm saying.
Okay.
Second, Bill's going to go down as the greatest coach of all time.
Easily.
You've probably still got Don Shula above Andy.
Andy's up there, dog. I gotta.
I mean,
to me, it's a legitimate question because it's, you know, I keep saying it. I'm loving the fact that I've dove deep into it, but there's certain topics I don't know a whole lot on. I don't know a lot about NFL coaches past the 90s.
Andy might be 2 now that I'm thinking about it.
I don't know a lot of the older NFL coaches to even have a, you know, educated opinion on it. So it's like a legit question.
I feel you. Belichick is, you know what? As much as
who was the coach for the Cowboys when they won their 3, and who was the coach for San Francisco when Steve Young won his 5?
It might.
Steve has 5.
This is the thing, though. It might still be Vince Lombardi too, based off of it. I had to look up Vince's numbers just now. Now I get it's a very different NFL, but he got 6 division titles. He was 9-1 in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's that. Go ahead and get that man his flowers. But hey, listen. Yeah, we let that one go.
See, I got for
Jimmy
me,
Johnson
I would,
Cowboys.
I would put what Andy has done because Andy has done it in multiple divisions and shown that his system works on multiple teams and gotten the job done over a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of people that will put John Madden over Andy Reid. There's a lot of people that will put because and it's because you don't want to disrespect what they brought to the game and how they changed the game, right? Like they legitimately changed the game. But like
John Madden was football. Like there's ways to.
Madden, hey, listen, John Madden is past. God rest his soul. He is football.
He is football. Like we don't even talk about it. But when we say you play Madden, like it's named after the guy. Like come on,
it's so synonymous with football. You don't even think about the fact that it's his last name on the game.
Crazy.
So like you put him up there. Like I would probably have Reed 5 all time. You got Bill Belichick. You got to have Lombardi there, probably 2. Don Shula's 3. Don Shula's got the only perfect season in NFL history. And I believe Bill might have passed him now. He was the most winningest coach for a long time, but Bill might have passed him. Bill Walsh is probably 4. Andy Reid's probably 5, and George Halas 6. No, Andy Reid still might be outside. Dog, that's a tough question. I've never even thought about that. George Halas got to be top 5, bro, because we don't count NFL championships the same. If you call, Paul Brown in there too, dog. If you count NFL championships,
so we count NFL championships and not just Super Bowls.
NFL championships aren't Super Bowls because they didn't have a Super Bowl yet. George Halas won 6 NFL championships. He won 10 division titles. How many he win?
It's up there.
It's high. It's a lot.
But does it league size factor into it, or you won basically?
Yeah, well, I don't know, right? Because like if it doesn't, you got to take Vince Lombardi out of there. If league size doesn't factor into it, Lombardi and Halas, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bears-Packers rivalry started from legitimate beef. The Bears-Packers rivalry started like the Crips and the Blood.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like Vince Lombardi and George Halas genuinely didn't like each other. That's where the rivalry came from.
You know what? I love stories like that because that's how Ferrari and Lamborghini came about. Well, Ferrari was there. That's how Lamborghini came about. He like had legitimate beef with the way Ferrari built his cars.
Yeah, he literally was like, "Hey, you suck at building cars,"
and Ferrari was like, "You build tractors."
Hey, let's be real though. Let's be real. This is the thing that I always said. Well, technically, Ferrari was right. They had to go find the best driver in the world at that time to even get close to the point of beating Ferrari. If your car was head and shoulders above Ferrari, would you need to go find the best driver in the world and beg him to come? Now, granted, what I know about it is what I saw in the movie, and I know that was there's parts in that where it's taken out of context.
You're talking about Ford versus Ferrari. No. We're talking about Lamborghini. Lamborghini and Ferrari story is different.
Oh, okay. That's a whole
Lamborghini was legitimately a man's last name. It's a family name.
Yeah.
And he was a tractor. He made tractors. He was So he was a wealthy businessman, and because he developed track, he has an engineering background.
Yeah.
He would buy the Ferraris, and Ferraris were known for having a lot of different issues with the clutch, transmission issues, and stuff like that. And he literally wrote in and was like, "Hey, these are some things that you can improve for your product." And Ferrari kind of like gave him the finger. Ferrari pretty much told him to F off. And that's when he set out to build the Lamborghini. And the Lamborghini Miura, I'm a car freak. So, I mean, at this point,
You
we
know
talk
more
about
than
this
me.
all day. Hey.
Told y'all, Skyline GTR. It's the only car I ever looked that deep into.
The older Lamborghini, like the Lamborghini Miura, has to be one of the most gorgeous cars ever made.
Huh.
Most gorgeous cars ever made. You can't find. I mean, that car, if you find one for sale right now, easily like $1.5 million right now.
The more you know.
So, I mean, hey, but yeah, Enzo was a real savage.
Hey, listen, I'm amazed you're not into like. Do you like NASCAR?
Yeah. So not as much NASCAR as Formula One. I'm really big into that.
Did you see the track they laid on the Vegas Strip?
Not yet.
For the F1, they got it laid out, dog. I'm not even a yeah, you should start a car channel. I'm not even a car guy. I'm gonna watch that.
I told Pat, so these are the conversations people don't know. I said, Pat, this is gonna go somewhere, and I gotta make changes to make sure I can take advantage of it. And he was like, yeah. I said, give me a few weeks. And slowly but surely, all of this stuff is in falling in line.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing a lot more of me very soon. Because I'm just gonna be me. I'm not gonna sit there and have no tailored page. You just gonna see just be me. And you can be along for the ride if you want to.
Hey, shout out to it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, let's get into something that you know very well, man. Let's get into a little bit of this NBA talk, man, because if we're going to break it down, listen, kids willing to trade Kobe White in a second for anything at this point. Y'all got a original Ferrari that's got a terrible clutch and is broken down?
Dog, listen. Remember when I told you I'd trade Kobe for Reggie Jackson? You was like, nah.
I said no.
You said nah.
For Reggie Jackson?
You said nah. This is before Reggie Jackson took off. But he only had the one little showing he had last season. The season before. I was like, I'd trade Kobe for Reggie Jackson right now. I'd get Reggie Jackson right now.
I don't remember saying no. But maybe
he was like, Kobe got a higher ceiling. No, he don't. Hey. Reggie Jackson been cooking.
I was wrong.
Reggie Jackson been cooking.
Now, I do want to see this. I want to see if he can keep it up with PG back, right? Like you get a lot different opportunities when your main guy isn't there and you become the main guy. But I want to see if he can keep it up with PG coming back, man. We do got the Clippers and the Bulls playing tonight here.
Go back to the list. First off, this list that we had is just all blown to crap. Dog, I'm embarrassed to say that Steph was probably right. God damn.
Was the only one that was right.
He's the only one that was close. He said 5 of 17. I looked at him like he cussed at me. He could have spit in my face the way he said that.
The best part is he was like, bro, I was trolling. I didn't think y'all would ever lose this many games.
We all had W's against the Knicks and L's against the Clippers.
Ain't a good look. We got trouble brewing. Dang, and PG wasn't even. No, we thought PG was gonna be back by now.
No, we thought PG was out. They were just cooking. Yeah,
L's against the Clippers.
PG been out 40-something games. Ain't no way in the world we thought he was gonna be back.
No, I thought when we did the list, that's when we started hearing that he might be coming back this season or something like that. Maybe not. I don't remember.
All right, so I'm gonna just say this real quick. You had a lot of W's. We had a W against you had a W against the Raps. I don't think that happened.
Yeah, dude.
We lost. So we won against the Rap. We lost to the Bucks.
We beat the Raptors. We lost to the Bucks.
We lost to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
We lost to the Cavs.
No, we beat
we beat the Cavs.
Yep.
We lost to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Now we got the Clippers and the Heat and the Bucks and Celtics. God dang, God hates us.
Yeah.
We got the dog. We got 5 playoff teams back to back.
Yep. Well,
The
let me ask
Wolves
you,
are a playoff team too.
let me ask you this, right? Like coming into
Oh,
tonight,
God.
do you feel that this is the turning point in the season with this game? Like if the Bulls can finally be, I mean, listen, I get it's not a top 5 team in the NBA or whatever it is, which is weird because like we also beat Boston, which I had completely forgotten about. So have we now beaten a top team in the NBA based on everybody's stats on that now? Are we still 0-16 or how's that work? Um, I'm confused on how that stat changed because when we beat Brooklyn, they were at the top of the NBA and not at the bottom. But now Boston's at the top, so that means we got to win versus top 16 team, right? I'm just confused on how it works. Anyway, so do you feel like tonight, if the Bulls can find a way to get a dub versus this Clipper team that we all feel and saw is better with Paul George on it, that it would be the turning point for this Bulls team heading into a homestand where they're already, dog, this record is crazy. They are 26-10 at the UC. That is a ridiculous record. And their last 5 games versus all those playoff teams that we're seeing right there, all at home. Their next game on the road is versus the Timberwolves.
What version of DeMar are we gonna get?
I mean, we've been getting 39 something tomorrow, but he ain't been moving the ball that great. Except the second half of the Wizards game.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna just be very emphatic about it. There's not one team that had a dominant 2 guard like that, like DeMar's being. DeMar's being a very 2000 to 2010 2 guard.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating against it. Kobe's my favorite player. What was Kobe's prime? 2000, 2010. That's love it. I love it. But Kobe didn't have a Zach LaVine. Mike didn't have a Zach LaVine. Like, there's another 2 guard on that team that you got to lean on so that these games are not so close. These games don't have to be close with more ball movement. DeMar's still going to be the man scoring 25 to 30 as he would scoring 30 to 40 in a win. 25 in a win look a whole lot better than 39 in a struggle.
I think it's about why he's doing it though. Like I get what you're saying, but I mean, it's like the question I asked the other day. Last night or when was that? What's today?
It's 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Whenever we played the Wizards. Tuesday's game versus the Wizards. Is the first game in a while we've seen the bench give you production. If the bench isn't knocking down shots, where do we expect the offense to come from? 28 points off of the bench is huge for this Bulls team.
Vooch rolled into that fourth quarter with 27 points.
Yep.
He ended that game with 27 points.
Yep.
He rolled into that fourth quarter, 16 shot attempts. He ended that quarter, 16 shot attempts.
Yep.
Zach has been more efficient than late. There's some earlier games where Zach was absolutely shooting 33%, 40%. But Zach, if you look at it, has been a little more efficient than DeMar. Less shots. Nearly equal output. If someone can give me 25 points but take 10 less shots, it begs the question, why wasn't he given the ball more? Because he's shooting more efficiently.
Well, he was still getting the ball in the fourth. It wasn't like he wasn't getting the ball in the fourth. He was just moving it.
No, I know. And I saw it. I watched it. I saw moments where he was just being passive, and I've critiqued him about that too. But when we've gotten up,
listen, if it's about getting the open shot, the thing that pisses me off about DeMar sometimes is DeMar
he's always open.
It's like they're going out of style.
He's always open in his mind.
You know what I'm saying?
And he should feel that confident. Don't get me wrong.
As a shooter, I guess that's a good thing, but like, but it's one of those like, right, when DeMar kicked it down to Vooch had the ball down low. and the double team came to Vooch, Vooch is moving the ball. I don't call that passive. I call that finding the good shot. And on a night where they're knocking down shots, a lot of times we end up killing Vooch passing out of those shots because Kobe White can't shoot consistently. Javonte Green isn't taking that shot. Ayo Dosunmu isn't taking that shot. Like, we'll get the ball and we'll be like, oh, I got my arm up ready to call out a three, and then they start driving. I'm like, where the heck you going?
I hear you, but you and I watch these games, and we see that the ball sticks with DeMar.
Yeah, it does.
But for some odd reason, he'll end up with more assists than Zach. I don't see where it comes. It's like he's at the end of the shot clock, kick it out to somebody score real quick. It's like haphazard. I see Zach come down even after he's gone off for 10 straight points, and he'll start trying to get someone else involved in the offense. It's just the maturation and maturity of his game. He's yeah. So it's like, for me, I love that DeMar's having this comeback season. I really do love it. But we all know what it takes to win basketball games, especially in the playoffs. And it's going to be people who look to get the others involved more, like Zach is doing, than trying to. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should always do it.
Yeah.
And I think I have to give credit for where credit is due. I got LeBron James mentioned it. I can go down there and score anytime I want to.
Hey, go conversation.
LeBron could when LeBron said that I can lower my shoulder to get to the cup anytime I want to. It's not winning basketball. Yeah. And for him to put it into that context, I was like, it's not winning basketball. It's not.
It's one of those things, right, where, like, I don't mind. See, that's the thing. Fourth quarter DeMar, I love when a player does that. I think that the thing that he has to add to his game is what Zach LaVine is. Zach LaVine wants everybody to get involved. He wants everybody to get shots. And I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes that's to the team's detriment. But this is the thing. Zach also has the mentality in his mind, and we've seen this for how many years, Bulls fans? We're talking about 5-6 years, where in Zach's mind, I'm going to try and get everybody involved. Mm-hmm. And when I take over, I'm taking over. But I want everybody to get going, because then it works better for the team. I think Zach is more of a team player. And I think that the Bulls kind of need to rely on that. And I think you saw, I'm going to be honest with you, I think you saw Billy Donovan, like, he's a very free moving, hey, y'all go out there, y'all do what y'all do. We're trying to get this. Like, we've got our sets, but if you see something, attack it. Mm-hmm. You haven't seen that these last couple of games. Billy Donovan is taking over. You saw a clear effort. When DeMar went down there and took like 3 shots, you saw a clear, like, get the ball to Vooch. And then all of a sudden, like, Ayo came down. I think DeMar was standing on the side of him, and Ayo just never looked that way. Because he didn't want that. He didn't want that awkward, like, juice moment where you sit in the elevator right there. You see me.
Right.
He came, like, you saw that. So, like, I think that's the key to the Bulls. But I don't want to just take DeMar out of it. Like, I need fourth quarter DeMar. I need that guy that can just take over. You need that guy. Yes, the ball movement's great, but when it comes down to it, you do need that guy that can look somebody in the eye and be like, I'm finna drop this bucket on your head, right? Like, most championship team, like for the Cavs, it was Kyrie. When the Cavs needed a bucket, most Kyrie was like, there's absolutely nothing.
Kyrie in the third was a problem. No one talks about that. Third quarter was all Kyrie time. Kyrie was go nuts. They used to say, hey, for lack of a better phrase, take the chain off the pit bull, let him go. Like, he about to go nuts.
We trying.
Hey.
We trying. I swear we try. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, if this has to count as a Kyrie mention, Pat brought it up first. But here's the thing. So this just to take a step back, I'm very conscious of who we are and the type of roster we have. So, chat, Pat, correct me if I'm wrong. It's Kobe White. This is not Kobe White hate. This is just an analysis of the player. Is he more of a steady Eddie type player, or is he a rhythm player?
Rhythm.
That means he needs what?
Shots.
Which means he has to have the ball. And if you're not looking for him to have the ball, he's not going to get in rhythm. Ayo Dosunmu. If he's not going to be running the point, Is he more steady Eddie? Is he a rhythm player?
Io is probably steady. Io just don't take shots.
Io is a rhythm shooter. Look at Io as a spot up shooter versus when Io has the opportunity to actually put the ball on the floor and try to set a play. He's not a good spot up shooter.
I can't say that because he's knocked down so many.
He's so many in the corner, right? So many in the corner. But look at when he gets in the next. Watch it this game. Watch when he gets in the game, and if he knocks him down, great. Then I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong because he's knocking down the shot. It's not me killing him, but he's a playmaker. Io is naturally a playmaker.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
When you so his playmaking ability, he doesn't have to be shooting to have good impact on the floor.
Yeah.
But if you use him as a scorer, he's a very much so a rhythm player. It's very rare you can pull someone off the bench, put them in the corner, and they knock down shots. You know who those people are? Those are your Kyle Korvers, JJ Redick, stuff like that. Those are just your designated shooters, Shannon Fries of the world. Those are those type of players. We don't have those type of players here. We're rhythm players. Yeah. Vooch is a rhythm big. He needs the shots. So guess what?
No, he said that himself. Yeah. He said that when they were in the post-game show, he said, I usually try to do that little floater down, low spin move, boot, put it up there to try and get myself growing early.
These are rhythm players. So guess what? I'm not killing DeMar because he's taking too many shots and the team around him is constructed around that. We're constructed around him being that person. I'm not killing him for that. Right? That's Kobe Bryant 2005. That team was constructed for Kobe to take 40 shots because he had nobody else there. I'm killing him because you have all these people who could help you, so we're not in these tight situations, and they're all rhythm players, and you're like, he was 6 of 20 and then ended up the game with, I think, 14 of 29 or 12 of 27, something like that.
To finish the last game?
Yeah.
No,
it was something close like that.
He was 2 for 12.
He was 6 of 20 going into the fourth.
Going into the half, yeah. Going into the
half. You know what I'm saying? So, like, with all that being said, rhythm players, right? So you got to rotate that ball. If your big man is not in rhythm, you can't expect him to sit there and give you good production down the line. He's not a threat. You got to give him the touches. And we've seen good production where Zach scored 25, DeMar scored 25, and Vooch had 20 and 15. But guess what? They all had about 18, 19 shots apiece.
Yeah.
We saw it. We've seen Vooch take 18, 19 shots. We've seen Zach take 18, 19 shots. And that didn't always happen with the greatest output, but at least we saw that the attempt was there to get everyone involved.
This is the one thing
winning basketball.
This is the one thing I will say too, especially in that last game. Like, you didn't see nobody even mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? Zach didn't do a post game as far as I saw. Nobody even brought it up. Zach clearly was not healthy.
Yeah,
he wasn't supposed to play in that game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where, like, maybe even that, like, throwing it in there, like, I agree with what you're saying, but when you're already on a team where you don't have that consistent shooter, when you're already on a team where you don't have that guy off of the bench that's supposed to come in like Kobe White is and be that Kyle Korver, whatever that dude is, when I give you these shots, let's not act like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in that game and in games before that, when Vooch is going and when he's kind of starts to go away from himself is when he's trying to kick it out to them open shooters. And they miss. And I think with a scorer's mentality like DeMar has, DeMar's a scorer. That's what he is.
It just is what it is.
You know that scorer's mentality is like, all right, I gave you the ball. You passed it. And
now
just somebody that missed a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at it kind of like that, and I get it, and I get everything you're saying, and I feel like the best basketball we saw from this Bulls team in a long time was in that second half, because DeMar ran into a double team. They had to try and double team DeMar. They kicked it down to Vooch. Vooch gets an easy lay, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh yeah, we gotta guard the big dude down there. And then you start giving it to Vooch down low. Vooch kicking it out to Zach in the corner. Zach's right there. Boom. You finally got somebody to knock that shot down. I think the fact that the Bulls lost, now I'm not saying Lonzo fixes this, but the fact that you lost another 3-point shooter that can spread the floor well for you took a lot away from this team because now Vooch's options are, instead of kicking it to Lonzo, Kobe, Zach, Io, you're kicking it to Lonzo, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr. Or you're kicking it to Zach, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr.
It's timing of it too.
It's so, it's so,
Yeah.
and then let's be real, they're not shooters, minus Kobe. So like Derrick Jones Jr. get that mug in the corner, he's not gonna let it fly every time.
He's a rim runner.
I'm a pump fake you and take this dunk.
He's a rim runner. Yeah, we have a lot of people on our team. I'm not gonna say a lot. We have a few people on our team that all jokes aside, I think will just be better. They don't fit this roster the way we are currently constructed. Kobe White could be a Reggie Jackson type player. I do believe that. All jokes aside, I do believe that. He's not in the right system. He's not going to get that opportunity here.
Hey, listen, you can't be a Reggie Jackson type player if you ain't knocking down shots.
He's not going to get that opportunity here. Fully healthy, he's not going to get that opportunity. He's too down. He's too far down the pecking order once everyone's healthy. And it's just so happens.
Really though, I mean, he's still getting 6-man minutes. The only dude not healthy now is Lonzo.
Well, when Lonzo comes back, he's a better shooter.
When Lonzo comes back, right now, Lonzo's definitely a better shooter. But what I'm saying is, like, the only person that's missing right now from this offense is Lonzo. So coming off of the bench, you really don't have another shooter.
Now, mind you, I just want to add this caveat. I'm really also thinking about next season as well.
True.
Because next season, there's no way in the world you, in good faith, say that just from an IQ perspective, that you put Kobe White in the lineup before Io. I can't do it.
No.
I can't put him in the lineup before Caruso.
Your starting point guard is usually your first guy off of your bench. Or your backup point guard is usually your first guy off of your bench if he's talented like that.
I can't put him over Alex Caruso. I can't put him over Lonzo Ball. And they played a 1 and 2 interchangeably. I like the fact that we have this.
Caruso be playing the 5 for us. I don't know what.
Caruso is like, he's a Swiss Army knife for us. Yeah. And I love it. So I say that to say, some people are in a situation where, he needs to start. Like Kobe White needs to start. He needs the ball in his hands. And I love the fact that when he has the ball in his hands on a consistent basis, and you see it. I've gone back and did the Jamal Murray analysis on him. When he gets a lot of touches and stuff like that, he puts up pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
He's not in the system that's going to get him that many touches right now.
No.
And that's a shame to him because I've made all the jokes and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that he can't hoop. He's in a league. It's 400 people in the league. Yeah, he's one of the 400. You know what I'm saying?
Let's be real. Now Kobe White should be there. There's some people that don't belong there.
There's some people that shouldn't be there.
But there's some people. Listen, whoever's playing on OKC right now, y'all not gonna be there next year. Enjoy this.
I would put I want to highlight this real quick just because the only reason why Patrick Williams should be in the starting lineup is because DeMar can't stick PG. You all can sit here and say whatever you want to say about him getting dropped off as many times as he did. You have to look at the fact that he was one of the few people to actually step up in those moments. And as a two-way guard,
hey, Kawhi be doing my man's dirty.
Be real dirty. As a two-way guard.
Why Kawhi be switching, dog?
He be ducking the smoke.
Kawhi be on Dame Lillard. Don't even try to fight through the slip screen, dog.
Be ducking the smoke. Anyway. He ducked the smoke unless his name is LeBron for some odd reason. Because he matched up against LeBron and LeBron and Giannis, Kawhi just gets up for those matchups. I don't know what it is, but he likes those. Anyway, but right now, a healthy Paul George is a top 3 two-way player in the league.
I mean, he's literally one of 3 two-way players in the league, probably.
No, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker is more of a two-way player now. He's evolved into that. Zach LaVine considers himself a two-way player.
Devin Booker defense. Devin Booker got when I want to defense.
There's a lot of people who would be considered two-way players by our standards today. But I would say that Paul George doesn't get the respect he deserves. But a healthy Paul George is a dangerous thing, and DeMar can't stick him.
No, for sure. He'd get cooked tonight. I don't know if you're gonna get. I don't know what lineup you're gonna throw out there, right? Because I mean, you're looking at that starting lineup for the Clippers, we're talking about Covington is back. Morris is good to go. PG. Let me see who they've been starting out here.
Steve-O, that's facts. I've been a Paul George fan for a while. And the one thing I've always liked about Paul George, major injury or not, that man comes back from the injuries and be killing.
So the Clippers been starting Markieff Morris or Marcus Morris, Paul George, Nick Batum, Reggie Jackson, and Zubac. They started them in the last game. They didn't have Norman Powell, and I think he's still out tonight. I think he's out for the season, ain't he?
Norman Powell, yeah.
Yeah, Norman Powell done for the year. And then off the bench, they had Kennard Hartenstein, who was killing us, Terrence Mann, who was killing us, Robert Covington, and they really just been running with that rotation. They in playoff mode, dog. They running 8 deep.
Hey, Clippers to me, sleeper team for next year. I don't even know if it's. I'm gonna say this: they're not a sleeper team for next year, but they run LA next year. A healthy Clippers team, please.
Now we might Marcus Morris and Nicholas Batum are both game time decisions tonight, so we'll see on that. Brandon Boston's also out dealing with illness. I didn't know that was still a thing anymore. I didn't think we were doing that. Zach LaVine is a game time decision as well. It says that he's probable as of yesterday, but he will be a game time decision, and I think that I don't know. I don't know what to do with Zach. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're so close to the playoffs, you know he's not gonna sit down. But do you have to sit him down to save the player from himself, essentially?
If he's not healthy, yeah. If he can't give me what we need, like the I knew the DeMar that we got the few games before was gonna come at a cost. And so we are still in playoff contention. You know, the play-in situation sucks, but I mean, if we drop down to that situation, we drop down to it, but it's still opportunity to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you just deal with it as it comes. But you gotta keep Zach healthy. You gotta keep it. Now, here's the thing. Looking at who we play.
Now, the doctors did
Clippers,
say he
Heat,
can't make
Bucks,
it
and
worse.
Celtics.
The doctors did say he can't make it worse. It just hurts.
He got Clippers. Well, inflammation is a thing.
Yeah. But they're saying that the injury that he has in his knee, it won't get worse. It's just about how much pain tolerance you can deal with.
Well, he better dope up if he gonna play. But I
Foul!
mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, listen, we got Clippers, Heat, Bucks, Celtics, and Hornets. If you're gonna roll the dice on any team to play without Zach, it would be the Clippers. Because you're gonna need to face the Bucks, you're gonna have to face the Heat. And mind you, none of these teams are resting because the East is so close.
I would probably rest him
today,
either in the Bucks or the Boston game because it's a back-to-back. You're not. You don't want to see him in a back-to-back, probably.
I don't know about that one, dog.
You don't want to see him in. I mean, I'd rather take an L to. If you win tonight, I'd rather take an L to one of those two teams. And yeah, you lose it in the seeding, but you're 3.5 games back. If I beat you, I'm not going to move up in the seeding.
Now, here's what you have. You have a L against the Clippers, a win against the Heat, a L against the Bucks, a win against the Celtics, a win against the Hornets, and an L against the Wolves. Because, as you put it, last game of the season may not mean that much.
Yeah, they better be sitting everybody.
Steph has straight L's except for the Celtics. I have very similar to you, but I have a win against the Wolves.
It's going to be interesting to see, dog, because for me, it's like, how are you, like, how much does this home record mean? How much does being at home boost them up? Because I'm going to be real with you, right? Like, when you look at the home and away splits, let me pull this up again. I had this up here.
Oh, sure. Hey, the Bucks ain't beating Nets tonight. I'll let you know that right now.
You know what? I don't know, dog, because every time you get super confident about the Nets, they usually end up losing. I ain't gonna lie.
First off,
every time you be like,
first off,
they
why you bringing up old stuff though?
hey, bro, I'm just saying,
You bringing
dog.
up
Like
old
every time
stuff.
you get super confident about the
You
next thing,
bringing up the
you
wrong
end
thing,
up
baby.
losing. So let me ask you this, right? If you finish out the season with, if you even split here, you're talking about a 70% win percentage at home. And if you win against the Warriors, you would be at, or if you win against the Wolves at the end of the year, you would be at about a 47% win percentage on the road. What is counted as a good season anymore? Because growing up, you want it to be basically 50% on the road because there is a home court advantage and you want it to dominate your home games. When you look at the splits like this, to me, even with, now granted, we had a ton of road games at the end of the year, which is why we've gotten to this point with it. But even with this, like, this is a good season. Right now, you're 18-22 on the road. You would finish the season 19-22 if you can beat the Wolves, or you finish it 18-23.
This was a winning season for us.
This
Regardless,
is a good season.
no matter what the standard is, I really don't look at that because as you know, the whatever, right? But for us, this is a win, absolute win, all the way around. The only way it's not a win is if we get bounced in a potential play-in situation.
Hey, this is funny. Brandon Katz, this is Chicago. A good season is being a contender. This Bulls team is not a contender. Let me tell you something, dog. If that's the moniker you have for a good season, you ain't seen a good season ever. Like, if the moniker for you ain't seen a good season since Jordan left this John. Because think about it. When the Bears went to the Super Bowl, Muggs really wasn't talking about the Bears being in the Super Bowl.
No, they really weren't.
They were talking about how great that defense is and how awful that offense is unless they give the ball to Thomas Jones. So you didn't even know that team was a contender. The Blackhawks, I guess. We can get a Blackhawks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brandon Katz, he said, that's not true. The Bulls had the best season in the league with Derrick Rose. That's true. And we all thought they was going to struggle against the Miami Heat. 100%.
And they did.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. When they was like, hey, the best option is the Chicago Bulls, we was all like, yeah.
So here's listen, context matters. Context matters. I want people to understand this. Having the best record in the league means nothing.
Hey, ask the Atlanta Hawks multiple times.
It means nothing. Ask the Phoenix Suns, who are 62-14. There's not a team remotely close to them. They could lose every game right now and still be number one.
Hey, bro, was you here when I said that yesterday? Oh no, you went here yesterday. For the Eastern Conference, the 10 seed is 9.5 games back. In the Western Conference, the 10 seed is 30 games back.
And that's the Lakers, by the way. The Lakers are 30 games behind.
Hey, listen, I get that, like, top to bottom, the East is better than the West. But that's a big drop off, dog. You 30 games back, bro? The Spurs right now are 30 games back.
Dog, the drop off from 7 to 10 is 11 games.
Precipitous.
11 games. The drop off in the East from 7 to 10. You ready for this? Drum roll, please. 3.
Oh,
3. Do you know how unfair it is to have a play-in game if you're in the Eastern Conference? I mean, the Western Conference,
bro.
If you're the 7 seed, you are literally 11 games better than the people you have to play.
Hold up. Here is a huge caveat that nobody is talking about. And then I do want to get into kind of how we're going to look at this season this year.
This is ugly.
The Clippers are right now the 8th seed still, right?
Solidified. They cannot lose the 8th seed. Yeah, they are. If they beat us and
They can't fall out of the 8th. They can't fall lower than the 8th spot, right? That's
they
all.
win the next 2 games, the rest of the
They
season
can
doesn't
move
matter.
up, but
They can move up, but they can't really drop down.
Yeah, they
unless
can't
the
fall lower
Pelicans
than
go
the
on a
8th spot.
massive run.
No one's talking about this, and it's really interesting to me. But do we not remember what the Western Conference Finals was? Do we not remember Paul George absolutely giving that team fits?
Murdering them.
We don't remember that going. What that went 7,
Murdering.
right? That went 7, right?
6, I believe.
Did it just go 6?
I think
The team that's best suited to beat this team and has matched up in the playoffs, nobody's talking about the fact that right now they're the 8th seed.
That's a good point.
Nobody's talking about that. Like, yes, the Suns are better. Yes, the Suns are ridiculous. Devin Booker's a bucket. He kills these mutts. He's dominant. Chris Paul is crazy. By the way, Chris Paul was throwing dots last night.
Yeah, it went 6 games.
The team that absolutely gave Phoenix the biggest amount of fits through that whole playoff series, minus the finals, could be matching up with them at the 8th spot. Your first round, we're talking all this trash about him. And Ty Lue, I think, is a really good head coach and knows how to go into that. Dog, you could be if Paul George comes out playing like he played against Utah for the rest of the season into the playoffs, you could be talking about a 1-8 matchup where you legitimately could see a possible upset with one of the best teams we've seen in this NBA.
Yeah.
Now, I don't expect. I think that it's unlikely, right? Just because of like preconceived notions and stuff like that. But fam, they ain't no normal 8th seed.
No, and
Reggie Jackson was cooking last year too.
Reggie Jackson got real hot. He was averaging 20 points a game.
Reggie Jordan was out in that mug in the playoffs, my boy.
Patrick Beverly, Rajon Rondo. I would say, dog, this team is so much better.
Yeah.
The Clippers are so much better
Nobody's
now.
talking about it. You got Robert Covington now.
The Clippers are better
now. No
now
Norman
than
Powell's
they
gonna
were.
hurt him. No Norman Powell is gonna hurt him.
Here's a crazy part that no one's talking about. And I only know this because of fantasy basketball, because, fantasy basketball, you know what? I'm going to say this and I'm going to just throw this out there. If they take the idea, they take it. The people who literally dive deep into fantasy basketball really need to start their own sports channel, because they look at every single line of reporting. They go so far down into the advanced analytics. They can really talk sports on a whole different level if they just get out of that market a little bit. Branch off a little bit. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? The Clippers were reported to have been trying to bring back Kawhi Leonard since January. I don't think you should it. I don't know what needs to happen from to be eligible in the playoffs, if anything.
Just get healthy.
But don't be surprised if randomly you say Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are playing in this game. If they get far enough. I think that's very possible, because
I will ask you this though, right? Because like
he said it himself, I feel fine.
Did Kawhi Leonard and Paul George work as well as them by themselves? That's the biggest question with the Clippers. Like, to me, Paul George looks way better without Kawhi Leonard on the other side of him. On the flip side, Kawhi Leonard looks way better without Paul George on the other side of him.
I think that's one of those things where you just stagger the lineups and you just give them some time to cook. But together, they are a championship team.
Yeah.
Separately, they are just a really good team. That's just how I look at it. And because of the health issues, Kawhi has been going through long list, so you just try to fill in that gap, because I mean, Kawhi wasn't healthy for the Phoenix, and even then, he said I felt fine. The
Yeah.
actual report, you can look it up. Kawhi said he felt fine in November. The doctors just didn't clear him, but
They
he
still
felt fine.
have. Last on Leonard, he hasn't even been cleared to take contact yet. He has been spotted doing shooting drills and stuff like that. He traveled with the team during recent practices on their back-to-back road games down in Houston. And it's just waiting for him. You want to know what's crazy about this? Without looking it up, how old do you think Kawhi Leonard is?
30.
That's crazy. he got like if his knee heals 100% and he's good to go,
He got a good 5 years.
he got like 5-6 years left, bro.
Yeah. Paul George is like 32.
Paul George is the older one on the team.
Yeah, Paul George is what, 30, 32? Or 33.
Something like that, dog.
He came in 2010, right?
Hey, you pulling a me.
It's your favorite one.
How old is he? About 32 right now? Paul George right now is 31. This is age 31 season.
Paul George got another 4 or 5 years.
That's hilarious, dog. That's mad hilarious. Hey, man, before we get up out of here, we got a few minutes left, man, coming down to the final stretch. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. 80-something people in here, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel, Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. Shout out to y'all for pulling up, man. When we get to 12 or 13,000 subs, we're going to be giving away that Io DeSumo jersey right there.
Giving away this jersey for a different note. At first, it was 1,200. Then it was 1,300. Then it's like, is it 13K or not, Pat?
Did I say 100? Don't worry about it, man. Dog, my math don't be mathing sometimes. 13,000.
Be tweaking.
Hey, because listen the thing, dog. I be underselling it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I got my mind underneath. No, when we get to 13,000 subscribers, we're gonna be giving away that Io DeSumo jersey, and then we got 2 more jerseys we're gonna be giving away at different subscriber marks as well, man. What happened to the movie bracket? I'm going to post it today. Hey, man, it's a lot of work on these shoulders out here. No, I absolutely dropped the ball on it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna post it today. We're gonna finish that mug out. It might go past March, but that's okay.
It might go past March.
It might go past March.
It might go past a couple hours. Huh?
Hey, you got to get them last few ballots in, my boy.
I see.
Make sure you count up every single one. Nah, man, before we get up out of here, dog. Question for you. As we have the live call tonight of the Bulls and the Clippers. How are you finishing out viewing this season? You know what? Hold on. Before I do that, we might have to get to that tomorrow because I got to call out Bulls fans real quick because I just looked at the notes and I forgot to do this part.
Uh-oh.
Stop believing everything y'all see on Twitter, bro. Stop believing everything y'all see on Twitter. Fam, somebody literally took a KC Johnson article, took it completely out of context, and all of a sudden, the Bulls are in on Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, and who else? And Rudy Gobert. Stop believing everything you say on Twitter. KC Johnson literally said the Bulls might have in mind going to look at names like this, but I fully expect Lonzo and Vucevic to be back here. Didn't nobody see that last part? Context matters, bro. Context. You can't read like I feel like we've gotten into this age of the internet where like I'm gonna give you this clip. And this clip is what that person legitimately said. And it's like, nah, dog, you missed the whole part where he broke down the reasoning for what he said. You'll put up a clip on the internet. I can't stand black people. This guy hates blacks. You've missed the other half of it where it's like, that do this. Which is a normal conversation that we all have. Context matters, bro. Y'all gotta stop doing this, bro. I was getting that article tweeted to me so much. Muggs wanted a video on it so bad. It's like, hey, oh, bro, you gotta get this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, man. What are we talking about? I go read the article. Casey Johnson, like literally end of it. Oh, yeah, they're gonna try and eyeball guys that fit this kind of mold of a Gobert or a Jokic or a but I fully expect everybody to be back. We got to be smarter, bro. Y'all can't let Twitter run y'all like this, bro. I really, really, really want to believe that we're a smarter fan base than I think we're showing on a consistent basis, bro. And it makes me sad.
This is the day and age we live in. And to be honest with you, not a fan. I'm not a fan. Because people come, the problem is too much accessibility, and social media gives spotlights and platforms to people who really don't need spotlights and platforms. People who can sit there and just take things completely out of context, run with their own narrative, and they're happy with it because they just want the spotlight and the platform.
Yes.
And that to me is nothing cool about that. People's reputations and lives have literally gotten destroyed over things being taken completely out of context because of stupid people with too much spotlight on some of these platforms. And we feed into it. Society feeds into it. We promote it. We like it. We share it. Look at this person. Even when we share it in jest, that person still gets that you're feeding into it.
Yeah. That was my problem. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro. This is the problem, right? Y'all keep going to them. Who is Chicago Bulls Talk on Twitter? @ Bulls Source. Credibility's gone. That's what started this whole thing. Credibility's 110% gone.
It's a wrap.
But you know what? Mud's still going to be following Buddy for their Bulls updates. And we don't even double check the information anymore. Now it's, hey, I get the information. Oh, I also have to post this on my Twitter so that I can get those likes and retweets, because when my phone vibrates, it makes me feel like a person.
There is a Lao Tzu quote that goes along the lines of, when I let go of who I am, I embrace who I could be. Sounds like a really nice quote, doesn't it?
Well, it sounds like something Bruce Lee would say, yes.
It's not a real quote. He never said it. It's fake. But if you look up inspirational quotes by that individual, it's one of the first ones that pop up.
Really?
It never existed.
Fam.
It goes against everything Taoism and everything was about. It's about embracing who you are, not what you could be. And so many fake and facets of it. But that's the life we live in now. We don't fact check it. It doesn't matter. Everyone just wants to click.
And they just, and this is the thing, and everybody just wants to share. They want to be the first to share so that they can get the conversation going on. I want y'all to do something, man, because we got to get up out of here. We will be back for the live call tonight. We'll also have content dropping on the channel today. I'm gonna go get this haircut so I can stop rocking hats like this.
Man, but I gotta go get my haircut. It was a bad.
It's looking bad out here, my boy.
God dang, son, you could have told me.
I want y'all to know that I want y'all to go look up Bob Knight, Ivan Ranko. Bob Knight, Ivan Ranko. That's what Twitter has become. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, check out, or make sure y'all subscribe to the page. We're giving away that Al DeSumo jersey at 13,000 subscribers. God dang it, I still messed it up. But hey, man, don't believe everything on the internet. Abraham Lincoln. hey, Shy Northside closing out the show. Great, dog. Hey, as always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Hey, Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there, dog.
Peace, bro.